Good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in your part of the world, whatever time it is. Good day to you. I hope you are doing well, you're safe, you have what you need, you and your family are good. So, you see the title Historic Tulare Lake reappears in California after disappearing in 1898. Huh. This is an article online by That's Viral Now. So, let's get into this and see what it's talking about. A lake located in San Joaquin Valley in California that disappeared in the late 1800s has reportedly reappeared. The culturally and historically significant lake reportedly vanished in 1898. So the question is, what has caused this lake that vanished in 1898? What caused it to reappear all of a sudden? Let's see if they provide the answer. Lake used to be one of the largest bodies of fresh water in the U.S. Wow. The lake, which is named Tulare Lake, reportedly used to be the largest body of fresh water west of the Mississippi River. Its reappearance marks the first time that it has been seen in over 130 years. The reappearance of this lake is a major highlight for the natural landscape overall. More specifically, though, it is a historic moment for the indigenous communities within the area. The natural landscape, the local tribe of the Tachi Yokut referred to the lake as Pa'ashi, which means big water. This was not the lake's first disappearing reappearing act. This apparently was not the first time in history that the same lake disappeared and then reappeared later again within the same location. Vivian Underhill, who used to be a postdoctoral research student at Northeastern University, studied the history of this lake extensively. Underhill concluded that the lake returned multiple times over the past century before disappearing again, according to Underhill. It happened in the 80s, once in the 60s, and a couple of times in the 30s. Most mainstream coverage focused on what the lake has flooded. Underhill believes that the mainstream coverage of the occurrence is not necessarily focused on the bigger picture. She emphasized the property and personal losses experienced in addition to ecological and cultural impact. According to Underhill, mainstream media had an opposite objective. Most mainstream media coverage has focused on what the lake has flooded. Underhill specifically referenced farm equipment, crops, dairies, and homes. So my question is this. If this lake is known to disappear and reappear, have done this in throughout history, then why wouldn't they warn people about building there or farming there? Why wouldn't they warn people? Or did they, or have they warned people and they just didn't listen? But it don't make sense to build or farm somewhere where used to be a lake and the lake is known to disappear and reappear. Recognizing Lake's integral role could remake mainstream senses of the valley. Underhill further explained that recognizing Tulare Lake as central to this landscape's ecosystem would remake mainstream senses of the valley. She also believes that it could heal the Central Valley's relationship with water. Underhill added that it would serve as efficient water storage and flood protection, It would also provide a profound new turn in ecological restoration. They still didn't get into what is causing or what have caused this lake in the past and right now to disappear and reappear. Something is causing it. Why did the Tulare Lake disappear in the first place? Now, maybe we'll get some answers. It may seem a bit mysterious how a body of water can just vanish like the Tulare Lake has done on multiple occasions over the past century. However, studies have proven that its disappearance was caused by land reclamation efforts hosted by the state. The state of California specifically focused on converting indigenous and public lands into private farmland. This process reportedly required the lake to be drained to irrigate and lands in the surrounding area. Hold on. This process reportedly required the lake to be drained to irrigate arid lands in the surrounding area. Okay, well, they drained the lake on purpose. Analyzing the long-term impact of draining a lake for irrigation purposes. Once the water is drained from the lake, it has a lasting impact on the surrounding ecosystem. Further studies have shown that this process fundamentally alters the landscape and overall ecology of the area. Underhill referred to this type of major transformation as a deeply settler colonial project. Like most colonial projects in U.S. history, it also has a lasting yet unwelcome impact on natural habitats and indigenous communities. Yeah, well, they're draining the lake, but what do they care about the ecosystem, right? What do they care about about indigenous people? Really? Look at the history, the true history of what was done, not only in this country, in the U.S., but in other countries as well, around the world. How indigenous people have suffered. How many towns have been flooded out? Did they flood? How many towns right now are sitting at the bottom of a lake right now? You still got people who don't even know that that lake that they like to go to and go boating and jet skiing and whatever they like to do, that there's a town sitting at the bottom of that lake. And people lived and had businesses, were thriving before they lost their homes, lost everything. Really got to dig into the true history, right? That they try to hide, that they don't want nobody talking about. Atmospheric rivers over state triggered resurgence of lake. Multiple reports claim that a collection of atmospheric rivers over the state of California in 2023 is to blame for the reappearance of this lake. Those rivers reportedly flooded the region. There have been studies conducted on these rivers that conclude their economic damage triples the projected losses when compared to standalone events. These findings reportedly surpassed initial expectations. Sounds to me like nature is going to set things right again. What exactly are atmospheric rivers in California? The phrase atmospheric rivers may confuse a lot of people, especially those who may not be familiar with the advanced elements of the water cycle. These are elongated regions that are typically referred to as rivers in the sky. Their primary duty is to transport a substantial amount of water vapor outside the tropic area, Most people do not realize that the strength of each river varies. How much water can atmospheric rivers carry? The amount of water that an atmospheric river is able to carry and transport depends on the strength. As mentioned, the strength varies depending on the river. For instance, the average river is able to carry enough water vapor to nearly match the flow of the Mississippi River at the mouth of that body of water. However, with extreme cases, studies have proven that atmospheric rivers can transport a maximum of 15 times the average amount. That's a lot of water. That right there is a lot of water. And this phrase, atmospheric river, this is, I've never heard, this is, how long? I mean, I don't recall hearing anything about atmospheric rivers years ago. So is this incredible to me? It can match the flow of the Mississippi River and could be as strong as 15 times the average amount. What happens once the atmospheric river reaches land? Upon landfall, the water that is being transported within the atmospheric rivers is released into the environment. The exact method of precipitation used when it is released varies depending on climate conditions. For instance, the moisture could be released as snow or rain within the same area. According to confirmed studies, atmospheric rivers have contributed over half of California's annual precipitation. That's a beautiful scene right there. Reappearance of Tulare Lake causes other social and environmental changes. The recent return of this disappearing and reappearing lake has reportedly brought along quite a few social and environmental changes as well. For instance, there has been an associated cooling of local temperatures in the area as a result of its reemergence. In addition, the area has experienced an increase in diverse wildlife finding new homes for their growing families. This reportedly includes specific species that were originally considered imperiled or vulnerable. Loss of lake was a major issue with bird diversity and conservation. Underhill indicated that the lake used to be part of what is known as the Pacific Flyway. The Pacific Flyway plays an integral role as a key stopover area for birds as they migrate. According to Underhill, the loss of that particular habitat was a major issue in bird conservation and bird diversity. She went on to say that what amazes her the most is that the birds know how to find the lake again when it reappears. She added that it's like they're always looking for it. See, now that's nature. That's how you know it's nature. Yes, you got the harp machines. They have more than one harp machines, and they messing with the weather, trying to control the weather. But this is how you know that this is nature, because the birds know that lake is there once again. Of course, the birds is tuned in to nature. It really is a battle between what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy nature. And it is a battle. But this is how nature fights back. Return of Tulare Lake revitalizes indigenous community. The return of Tulare Lake has reportedly been a cornerstone of the revitalization of the nearby indigenous community. One report shows that it had a profound impact on the cultural and spiritual appreciation of this body of water within the the Tachi Yoku tribe. Forgive me if I mispronounced the name of that tribe. The Yokuts were historically unique among the other California natives since they were divided into true unique tribes. Each tribe had its own language, name, and marked territory. The Yokuts enjoyed a life near California valleys for centuries. The Yokuts reportedly enjoyed life within the California valleys for many centuries. They found life there to be peaceful and pleasant. This particular tribe of seed gatherers did not farm at all before the days of Christopher Columbus. They hunted rabbits, deer, prairie dogs, and other small birds and mammals. They also ate acorns, roots, berries, and wild plants. See, they found life there to be peaceful and pleasant, but isn't that how life was supposed to be? I think about this all the time. See, a lot of people call this life. You're born, you go to school, you finish school, you get a job or a career, or you become an entrepreneur, have your own business, and you just, well, however you do it, you're just spending your life force, your energy in exchange for this fiat money. You know, that has no real value, right? It's not real. And we call this life, right? And you work until you're done. That's it. You know, until you pass. Right? And they call this life. You got people who work most of their lives. They work a job where they have the years to retire, but they don't have the age, so they got to keep working. How many I've know of a situation, plenty of situations where people have worked, finally get the age to where they can retire, and within the year, not even a year from retiring, you wind up hearing of the person that's passed on. Because they have all these health problems and issues with their health, and they done spent and used up their energy, their life force for something or for things, material things that they can't take with them. You can't take none of the stuff with you when you move on. It's just my opinion, but we're doing this all wrong, backwards. And they call this life. I've said it before in previous videos. I can't stand when I hear somebody say, well, this is life. What are we going to do? This is life. This is how life is. This is not life. Who told you that lie that this is life and this is how life is meant to be lived? Well, you got the 1% living off of this mountain of people. You got people who live on super yachts, living a fantastic life, don't have to lift a finger. The 1%. You got those who are worth trillions Trillions of dollars, trillions, right? Look at the Rothschilds. Trillions. See, we don't have to live life like this. We can truly live. You know, it's my opinion that we have forgotten how to live. And we're too busy living the lie, thinking that this is life. You're supposed to work to pay bills and, you know, work to get this money and or get the bag as you know, as some would say. And that's life. Right? And it just breeds this negative environment, this negative life where, you know, those who have it take advantage of those who don't have it, or those who are in need. Because everything costs. Food costs, water costs. How about the air? We paying for everything. We pay we got to pay when we're born here. We got to pay when we move on and pass on. From the moment you're born to the moment you pass on, we're paying for it. And we call this life. See, I imagine a different world. Imagine a world where that's completely different from the way we're living right now. Imagine trees lined up and down the street, growing good fruit. You're hungry? The fruit is ripe, pick a fruit off the tree. Imagine fields of berries or fields of whatever crops. Why does it have to cost? Imagine instead of destroying nature, if we just leave nature alone and let nature do what nature does. We don't have to pay to live. If you go back enough in history, our ancestors didn't pay to live. They didn't have no bills. They didn't pay rent, mortgage. But this is how we live, and we call it life. Again, we believe in the lie. We're living a lie. I've said it in previous videos. I'm going to say it again. We, the people, have the power. I don't know who's going to watch or listen to this video. A lot of my videos, some of my videos don't have any views on it. That's okay. Because my message is not meant for everyone. Only those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Obviously, I'm not concerned with it. The right people, the right folks out there is going to hear my message. But I'm going to keep speaking this truth. We don't have to live like this. This isn't living. We're not living. Just how I feel. And I know I'm not the only one who feel this way. I know I'm not the only one who knows what I know. There are others out there. So to the others out there, I say this. We need to come together. Because it can't go on like this. Something has to change. We have to be the change. We have to become the change. Stay safe out there. Love yourself. love each other, keep your loved ones close, protect each other, watch each other's backs. That is important, especially the times we're living in. Protect the children, protect the babies at all costs. Children have been and are under attack. Protect the children, protect the babies at all costs. We have to get back to it takes a village to raise a child. We have to get back to that. Right? So be safe with the rest of your day and whatever it is you're doing. Be balanced. This is King B. Talk to you in the next video.